Hey food nerds! So today we're gonna be making dumplings or pot stickers. It's gonna be amazing and we're gonna do it for Chinese New Year. So stick with me and here's what you need. Alright, so to begin we're gonna start with our dough, and I have here flour, of course, it's important for dough making, and we're gonna need some boiling water. If you guys remember like the churro recipe, it's very similar in making that dough. We're gonna need boiling water for that, and we're just gonna add a few pinches of salt into this. Just gonna actually hand pinch it over here, big pinch of salt right there. There we go. Let's mix it. Let me stay true with the whole tradition of making pot stickers, and I'm using chopsticks to mix my flour and all that stuff. It's actually pretty efficient. If you guys have never used it before, it's kind of like a paddle for like a mixing stand. Works kind of the same. Alright, so I got my boiling water in here. It is really hot. And we're gonna add the boiling water in, nice and slow, while mixing at the same time. So I'm going to use my hands. Careful because the dough is really hot. Just trying to incorporate every single piece of flour. Hot water is opposed to cold water. It is actually helping the gluten like develop faster. Gluten just means like the rubbery thing that keeps everything together. So even though if you have gluten-free flour, you will still be connotating it as gluten, the binding agent. So we're gonna put this aside, and I'm gonna need the space to knead this flour. So get some flour to surface, and we're gonna knead our dough. We're gonna knead it for about 8 minutes. Use those muscles. I'm making 60 dumplings. Nice and smooth. And then put it here in its bowl. And I'm gonna let it rest for about, 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm gonna cover it and let it rest. There we go. I'm just gonna set it aside and we're gonna work on the filling. So now that's out of the way, we're gonna work on our pork. Yay! So, literally, this is the easiest thing in the world. First things first, we are gonna salt it. Always season your meats before you do anything with it. So I got it over here. Into that we're gonna add some baking soda. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of baking soda. So what the baking soda basically does is tenderizes the meat. So like denatures it a little bit. And to that we're gonna add some tapioca starch. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons of tapioca starch. This would make it nice and silky, velvety almost. It'll give it a nice texture. And mix. Mix. See how that like is sticking and stuff? It's basically the same thing as like adding egg. Like it's a binder, and it will make it like sticky and stuff. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper, because you're not done seasoning yet. There we go. To that we're gonna add some garlic, a lot of garlic, some chopped chilies, some ginger. I like chunky, like I didn't mince it as fine because I like little bites of ginger. It's up to you if you want to just like grate it. Some people just don't like the actual biting into ginger part, so they grate it or just use the ginger juice. But I like having little ginger pieces. To that we're gonna add some celery. And we're gonna some carrots. Look at that, it's like another dough. A meat dough. We're gonna add some of the scallions. You could, you know, use shallots, but I think scallions are very essentially like Chinese in ingredient. So I'm using scallions. To this we're gonna add some soy sauce. I'm gonna add some Shaoxing, or Chinese cooking wine, as you say. You could use sherry or some like rice wine. So we're gonna add some sesame oil. I'm gonna put a lot of sesame oil, because who doesn't like sesame? Add some stock. Kick up the flavor a little bit. Perfect. Mix, mix, mix. Yum, yum, yum. Mix, mix. Dun, dun, dun. If you haven't seen Miles J's video, the bear cake video, you should be ashamed of yourself, because that video is a masterpiece. Okay, we're gonna add our bok choy. Traditionally, they would use cabbage, but I ain't got time to like prepare the cabbage right now, so I'm using bok choy. I ain't got time to soften the cabbage or like, you know, parboil it and stuff like that. So this is what I have at hand, so I'm using this. Of course, I'm using some parsley, like a nice handful of parsley. And last but not least, fish sauce. Because, you know, it's not Asian enough until you put fish sauce in the equation. There it is. That's our filling. Yay! Alright, so we're going to put everything away and we're going to work on the dough. Alright, so now that the dough is nice and relaxed, I'm just going to go cut it in half. Make 2 balls out of it. What I could do is that make a little donut and then set it aside so that it's easier for me to roll it out later. Yay, look at that. Put a little flour. Now we have the little dough ring thing. We're gonna get it. We're gonna make it into a line and we're gonna cut it in half. And now you have 2 lines. Yay! Look at that. You're gonna cut it in half. Cut it again in half. And then in half. And then in half. And then in half. So after everything's said and done, you will actually have 32 pieces of these little bad boys. I had doubled the recipe because I actually have some people coming over, so I have 64 pieces. And now what we're gonna do is roll them out into like little tiny shells so we could stuff them. I have this little tiny rolling pin. I got it from the Asian market. You could use a French rolling pin. It'll be easier to work with because it doesn't have the little handles and it's not as bulky. So what's gonna happen is this hand will rotate while this hand pushes. So you see like other people who are like experienced like dumpling makers, they roll it out really fast. They're like doing that and it just like forms into a circle. Well, I guess it takes a little bit of practice, but it should have a nice circular dough after the end of it. Get some more flour over there. The first few tries I actually have done this was a fail because I wasn't so good at it. But I'm not the best at it still, but pretty good, pretty decent. That's a nice little dumpling dough right there, dumpling wrapper. There we go. Set it aside, flour it, and layer it in each other. Just like that. There we go. Perfect. Working on the other ones. So, now that you have your wrappers, like so, nice and little round, we're gonna fill them. Got my little chopsticks over here. We're just gonna get a little tiny piece and we're gonna fill it about like a third of the way. Like, nice little chunk of filling, I guess. That'd be nice right there, right in the center. Cool. So, now you're gonna fold it over just like you would a burrito. So, and then you're just gonna have to press hard. Yay! Now, this is eaten Chinese New Year's because they look like little money bags. So, to bring like good luck and wealth and all that stuff, pot stickers. Ta-da! So, you got one down, and we have 61 more to go. Alright, so I have my little army over here. Ta-da! Nick and Brandon did it. So they're like amazing. They did a great job. Just heat up about 2-3 tablespoons of oil. Get it nice and hot. And then we're gonna sear the bottom of the pot stickers. And then we are gonna steam it. We're gonna line all our pot stickers. Like so. Can we get a time lapse on this? Alright, so now that you have your pot sticker bottoms look like that, time to have a cup of water. Cover it and let it steam for about 8 minutes. You're good to go. Alright, so when the water evaporates, like when all the water evaporates, that means you're good to go. There's still a little water still going there. It's called pot sticker for a reason because they stick to the pot, but it's gonna be pretty good. So it's almost gonna be done, and it's done. I'm gonna take them out, and then we're gonna eat them. It's done! Look, it's a dumpling. Look at that. And now I'm gonna try it. So the bottom is like nice and crispy, as you can see. And I got my sauce over here. I'm so excited. I like the taste of the ginger, and the little bites of the ginger that I put earlier. I just got a little nice nibble. That's really good. And of course, garlic. I would give you one, but I can't reach it to you through the screen, so you'd have to make it yourself.